I'm hearing a lot of very valid points being made about, but I feel they're all revolving around protection of our state and our city and country, whatever. I really want to know some answers from you gentlemen over here on how we can cure. It's not about protecting, it's about curative. How can you cure this menace? How much ever you protect the cities with defense and invest in governance and everything, I think a man whose mind is not functioning right is going to penetrate our defenses. How do you cure this from a socio-cultural, economic point of view?
Well, I think this is a matter which has been studied quite a lot. Why is there disaffection? I mean, we're talking about this security problem here, but 1/3 of our country is today run by the Naxalites. And so disaffection, how do you take over? It's a very complex question. And in a poor country like ours, it's going to be some time before such disaffection can be totally eliminated. But I think we should be clear. We should not allow any excuses for terrorism. I think, as Ajit rightly pointed out, this is war against India. And when there is war, you just fight it. You don't say why people are behaving that way or how they behave, but we fight it. And we should send a very clear message that this is not going to be tolerated. And I'm glad at least the government has now demanded that those terrorists who are in the neighboring country, in Pakistan, they should extradite back to India. That is the demand. I don't know how far we'll be able to insist on it, but that's the step we should take.
Yes, Cyrus, you want to... Yeah, may I answer the question in two parts? The first is, if we assume that this particular attack was an attack that was not homegrown, but that it was planned abroad, I don't think we over here can provide the cure. I think there are reasons for global terrorism, and they lie in the domain of our national governments and international governments to deal with. But I'd like to go back to Adi's point, which is we must not provide any excuses for terrorism to be homegrown. And I come back to my point that if you lose control of city policing in the normal sense, then you create opportunities for people to become disaffected, embittered, and ultimately to become terrorists. For example, if a crime is committed in the streets, what is the expectation of the young person whom Ronnie referred to? There are two expectations. One is you apprehend the culprits and bring them to book. And the second is you try them and you provide exemplary punishment. This is something that never happens in our system. And you have people, the horrible thing is, if you talk to people in the human rights movement, approximately 65% of the people who are languishing in the jails of India are yet to undergo trial. Every one of them is a potential terrorist in the breeding. So we have to set a lot of things right in our policing system, our system of justice, of criminal justice, in the judiciary system. So we need judicial reform as well. So I think that, as Adi said, it's very complex. We're a country in which there are huge layers of inequity. I think as long as we become more sensitive to this, we're on the way to dealing with them.
Ronnie?
Yeah.
Whilst this is true of certain